Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, onto the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail. The mood around Glasgow football has been simmering once again. And this time the spark appears to have come from a set of comments attributed to Rangers captain James Tavernier that have set supporters on both sides of the city buzzing with debate. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, it is important to remember that much of what is circulating at the moment sits firmly in the realm of rumor and speculation. Still, when the name of a Rangers leader is attached to strong words about Celtic, the story spreads like wildfire. According to whispers making the rounds among supporters and commentators alike, Tavernier was allegedly quite blunt in his assessment of their fiercest rivals. Some claim he described Celtic as a weak side and suggested that the overall quality of their players simply does not compare with what Rangers possess in their dressing room. Whether those words were spoken exactly as they are being repeated is another question entirely, but the mere possibility has already ignited endless discussion across pubs, social media, and fan channels. For Rangers supporters, some see it as the voice of a captain showing confidence and belief in his squad. For Celtic followers, however, the reaction has been predictable: outrage, disbelief, and a firm insistence that such comments only add fuel to an already intense rivalry that rarely needs extra encouragement to explode into passionate debate. As the chatter continues to swirl, many observers have begun analyzing what might have motivated such strong sentiments, if the rumors hold any truth at all. Tavernier has been a central figure at Rangers for years, a leader on and off the pitch, and someone who understands better than most the emotional weight carried by every word spoken about Celtic. That is precisely why the speculation has drawn so much attention. Some pundits believe that if Tavernier did express such opinions, it might have been said in a private moment of frustration or confidence among teammates rather than intended for public ears. In highly competitive environments, players often speak with blunt honesty about their rivals, especially in a city where the football rivalry runs deeper than almost anywhere else in the world. Others argue that the alleged comments might reflect a belief within the Rangers camp that their squad possesses stronger individual talent and greater depth. Whether that belief is justified is something supporters will argue about endlessly. But the mere suggestion that the Celtic squad could be labeled as poor or lacking quality has understandably stirred strong reactions. Fans of the Hoops see it as disrespectful, while Rangers supporters who believe the rumors are true see it as a bold statement from a captain unafraid to speak his mind about the biggest rival his club has. Naturally, the story has taken on a life of its own, growing larger with every retelling. In football culture, especially in Scotland, rumors can spread faster than any official statement ever could. Some reports claim Tavernier supposedly questioned the overall level of Celtic's squad, hinting that several players simply would not make it into the Rangers' starting lineup. Again, none of this has been firmly confirmed, but speculation thrives precisely because supporters love to imagine what might be said behind closed doors. What makes this rumor particularly explosive is the history between these two clubs. Rangers and Celtic do not simply compete for trophies. They battle for pride, identity, and the bragging rights of an entire city. When a player associated with one side appears to mock the quality of the other, it immediately becomes headline material among fans. There are even suggestions that some Celtic supporters have interpreted the alleged comments as arrogance from the Rangers captain, a belief that success or confidence may have gone to his head. On the other hand, Rangers followers argue that confidence is exactly what a captain should show, especially when speaking about the biggest rivalry in Scottish football. And so the debate continues, fueled not by confirmed quotes, but by the endless echo chamber of speculation. Inside the football world, reactions have been mixed, with some former players and commentators urging calm, while others quietly admit that such talk is hardly unusual in dressing rooms. Footballers are competitive by nature, and rivalry often brings out the most provocative opinions. If Tavernier did indeed describe Celtic as weak or suggested their players lack quality, some insiders believe it may have been less about disrespect and more about motivating his own teammates. Captains often use psychological tactics to build confidence within their squad, and portraying the opponent as inferior can sometimes be part of that mindset. Of course, the risk with such statements is that they inevitably leak or are interpreted as insults once they reach the public sphere. Celtic supporters, fiercely protective of their club's reputation, have not taken kindly to the rumor. Many insist that dismissing their squad as poor shows either ignorance or deliberate provocation. Meanwhile, the Rangers' faithful appear divided. Some enjoy the controversy, seeing it as classic rivalry banter that adds spice to Scottish football. Others, however, feel that a captain should avoid giving the opposition any additional motivation. The truth behind the rumor remains unclear, but the conversation it has sparked has certainly captured the attention of supporters across Scotland. Another fascinating aspect of this developing story is how quickly speculation about one comment can evolve into broader discussions about the strength of both squads. Analysts and fans alike have begun comparing players position by position, debating whether Tavernier's alleged opinion might reflect genuine belief within the Rangers camp. Some argue that Rangers possess more leadership and consistency in certain areas, while Celtic supporters point to their own talents and insist that dismissing their players as poor is laughable. What started as a rumor about a few provocative words has suddenly turned into a full-blown debate about squad quality, coaching philosophy, and club direction. That is the power of rivalry in Glasgow. Even the slightest hint of disrespect can explode into a narrative that dominates conversations for days. Supporters dissect every possibility. Did Tavernier truly say those words? Were they exaggerated by someone who overheard a conversation? Or could the entire story be nothing more than a piece of speculation blown out of proportion by excited fans and media personalities? Without clear confirmation, the rumor floats in that gray area where football gossip often lives, yet its impact on the atmosphere between the two fan bases is already undeniable. For many observers, the most interesting part of the situation is how it reflects the emotional intensity that defines Rangers versus Celtic. This rivalry has always thrived on passion, pride, and the belief that one side must prove superiority over the other. If Tavernier indeed made such bold remarks, it would fit a long tradition of outspoken confidence from players who wear the captain's armband. Yet it also highlights the delicate balance between confidence and controversy. Words spoken in moments of emotion can travel far beyond their original setting, transforming into rumors that shape public perception. Some supporters believe the story might eventually fade away if no clear confirmation emerges, while others think it will linger as part of the ongoing psychological battle between the clubs. What is certain is that speculation like this keeps the rivalry alive in the minds of fans, even when there is no match being played. Every rumor becomes another chapter in the endless narrative of Glasgow football, where pride and rivalry ensure that even whispers about what a captain may have said can ignite debate across the entire country. As the rumor continues to ripple through the Scottish football conversation, many supporters have begun asking whether the alleged remarks from James Tavernier were ever meant to be taken seriously outside the walls of a dressing room. Football history is filled with stories of players speaking bluntly about their rivals when surrounded by teammates, often using strong language to build confidence and unity. Some observers believe that if Tavernier truly described Celtic as a weak side with poor players, it may have been less about disrespect and more about reinforcing belief within the Rangers squad. Captains frequently adopt that mentality, reminding their teammates that they should not fear the opposition. Still, when such sentiments escape into the public space, even as rumors or whispers, they quickly take on a completely different meaning. Celtic supporters have interpreted the supposed comments as an attack on the pride of their club, while Rangers fans who believe the story see it as a powerful statement of confidence. The fascinating part is that no one seems entirely certain about the exact context in which these words might have been spoken. Yet that uncertainty has not slowed the discussion. If anything, the lack of confirmation has made the speculation even more intense, as every supporter fills in the gaps with their own interpretation of what might have happened behind closed doors. Across Scotland, former players and analysts have also joined the debate, each offering their own perspective on how such comments could affect the atmosphere between the two clubs. Some argue that rivalry talk is part of football culture and should not be treated as a scandal. In their view, If Tavernier truly believes Rangers are stronger than Celtic, then expressing that confidence is simply part of the competitive spirit. Others, however, warn that dismissing an opponent as weak can be risky, especially in a rivalry as fierce as this one. History shows that players who speak too boldly about their rivals sometimes end up giving them extra motivation. That possibility has become a central theme in the discussion surrounding the rumor. Celtic supporters, reading the alleged remarks as arrogance, have begun suggesting that such talk might backfire spectacularly. Meanwhile, Rangers fans who admire their captain's leadership insist that confidence should never be mistaken for disrespect. The debate has therefore grown beyond the original rumor itself, turning into a broader conversation about mentality, psychology, and the role of a captain in shaping the mindset of his team. Inside fan communities, the speculation has become even more colorful, with countless interpretations emerging about what Tavernier might truly think about Celtic's squad. Some supporters claim that players within the Rangers camp privately believe their rivals lack the depth and individual quality required to match them over a long campaign. According to these whispers, the alleged comments about weak players might reflect a wider confidence shared among certain members of the squad. Of course, Celtic fans reject that idea entirely, arguing that such talk reveals more about Rangers' arrogance than any supposed weakness in their own team. The rivalry has always been fueled by contrasting perspectives like this. What one side sees as justified belief, the other interprets as disrespect. That dynamic is precisely why even unconfirmed rumors can generate enormous attention. The idea that a Rangers captain could openly question the quality of Celtic players taps directly into decades of competitive tension between the two clubs. Whether the story is exaggerated or rooted in truth almost becomes secondary, because supporters are already using it as another talking point in the never-ending debate over which club truly holds the upper hand. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Another interesting element is how quickly the rumor has transformed Tavernier himself into the center of the narrative. As captain of Rangers, his words carry more weight than those of most players. Leadership in such a passionate football environment means every statement, real or imagined, can shape the public perception of the team. Some fans admire the idea of a captain who speaks boldly about his club's superiority. They see it as a reflection of confidence and ambition. Others believe that the best leaders avoid public controversy, focusing instead on letting performances speak for themselves. If Tavernier indeed suggested that Celtic are weak or that their players are not of high quality, the reaction shows just how powerful the captain's voice can be. Even the suggestion of those opinions has triggered heated reactions. Celtic supporters feel their club has been disrespected, while Rangers fans debate whether the rumor represents bravery or unnecessary provocation. It is a reminder that in a rivalry like this, leadership extends beyond tactics and performance on the pitch. It also includes the way players represent their club through their words and attitude. What makes this entire situation even more fascinating is the way rumors evolve as they travel through the football world. A single comment, or even the possibility of a comment, can grow into a story that takes on new meanings depending on who is telling it. In some versions of the rumor, Tavernier allegedly laughed while questioning the level of Celtic's squad. In others, the comments are described as calm and analytical, more like a tactical opinion than an insult. Each retelling shapes the narrative differently. That process highlights the unique culture of football discussion, where speculation and imagination often mix with reality. Supporters love to picture what their heroes and rivals might be saying behind closed doors. In a city like Glasgow, where football is deeply woven into everyday life, those imagined conversations can become almost as influential as confirmed statements. The Tavernier rumor therefore reflects more than just one alleged opinion about Celtic. It reveals how passionately supporters engage with every hint of rivalry, turning whispers into debates that stretch across the entire football community. In the end, the truth behind the alleged comments may never be fully clarified, and perhaps that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the story alive. Rumors thrive in the space between possibility and confirmation, And in Scottish football, that space is often filled with passionate argument. Some fans will always believe that Tavernier genuinely views Celtic as a weak team with poor players, convinced that such confidence reflects the mentality within the Rangers camp. Others will dismiss the entire narrative as exaggerated gossip created to stir controversy between rival supporters. Regardless of which version people choose to believe, the discussion itself has already achieved something powerful. It has reminded everyone just how intense the Rangers and Celtic rivalry remains. Even without a match taking place, the mere suggestion of provocative words from a captain can ignite conversations across the country. That is the magic and the madness of this historic rivalry, where pride, speculation, and passion combine to ensure that every rumor feels like the beginning of another dramatic chapter in the story of Glasgow football. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.